just like buses, they all come at once. That's right, yet another Tony Mowbray derby, this time at Ewood Park, as Rovers entertain Tony Mowbray's old club Middlesbrough. Now, will Lightning strike twice and Rovers pick up a second win against one of Mowbray's old teams? We'll take a little look at it. Nick! Right, folks, back once again with another match preview. This to look forward to Blackburn Rovers hosting Neil Warnock's Middlesbrough, and we'll get to that in just 1 second. If you're new to the channel, smash your subscribe button to get your bang out today with all things Blackburn Rovers related, championship related, world football related. We got it all here, boys. Under. Boom. Oof, that's right, boys. Yes, I'm pumped up now. I finally got over that hoodoo, only just, though, against Swansea. The loss, of course, but now we move forward to the next Tony Mowbray derby. Blackburn Rovers taking on Middlesbrough, of course. We'll talk more about that in a minute. I want to make a big shout out to the Patreons. You know who you are, up to 23 right now. We're actually trying to get themselves up to 25, quarter of a century. Can you be one of those missing two to make it over the line and reach a monstrous goal for the channel? So if you are interested, become the latest member of the VIP exclusive gang, the Brotherhood. Get down in the old description down there, patreon.com/Roverseason. Because recently we've just celebrated 3 new additions: Ahmed Sochi, Shane O'Donnell, and of course Miles Austin, of course, aka Natusha A, joining the patrons not too long ago. So big shout out to those guys for joining. Now let's get into it. Okay, folks, here we go. It's Tony Mowbray Derby 2.0. That's right, Rovers entertaining Middlesbrough. Of course, Mowbray's old club, stomping ground there. Of course, some familiar faces knocking on the doors as well. It will be, of course, the man pulling the strings these days, of course, for Rovers is Tony Mowbray. And his captain, for the time being anyway, is Darragh Lenihan, of course. Not the greatest bit of form for him at the moment. Of course, we are pinning our hopes on Adam Armstrong get through making this match. I don't know if he will. I don't know what the feeling is around the camp about his fitness and health because of the possible injury they picked up on Saturday against Swansea. So we'll have to wait and see if he's going to be available. Of course, in the opposition dugout will be, of course, Neil Warnock, a man that should have, would have been in the hot seat right now for Rovers. And if so, would have we been promoted? Of course, way back when Owen Coyle was sacked, I think they were looking around for managers. Neil Warnock. Oh no, maybe it was before Warnock. It was before Coyle. Warnock was linked. And he was interested, but unfortunately, those two would never get connected. It's never going to happen, folks. It's never going to happen that we'll ever get Warnock. He is, of course, I think this will probably be his last club. And right now, he's doing just what we wanted Mowbray to do for us. Get us in those top 6 places. They're in there at the moment, sitting 5th in the table. And they could get themselves well comfy with a big fat victory against Rovers this coming midweek. Of course, El Capitano is another familiar face that could have been wearing the blue and white shirt these days. It is, of course, Britston Malonga. He's wearing the captain's armband. He was on the verge of leaving the club, I think, in the summer, but no, sticking around, giving the captain's armband, and he is leading the charge. He might not be leading the goals, because leading the goals is Chuba Abcom, recent signing, of course, for Middlesbrough, and of course, banging in the back of the net. We'll take a look at the stats for the Middlesbrough in a minute, because right now, we're going to take a look at where the game's going to take place. Right here, of course, at the Garden of Eden. Oh yeah, the fans might be there, and of course, we might even be in a lockdown when this game comes around, but of course, it is Ewood Park, boys and girls. Of course, hopefully, we can start to turn this into a fortress, because right now, it's looking like a bag of shit right now. We can't get any results going in our favour, let alone them being home or away. So Garden of Eden, aka Ewood Park, will be the venue. But the man pulling the strings, of course, at the moment is Adam Armstrong, scoring 10 goals to his name. Brad Johnson's got 3, and I don't know what his availability, because the games are coming so thick and fast, there doesn't seem to be any time for any recovery, really. And I don't know if Johnson's going to be available. If so, would he walk straight into the team? I don't know. Probably need a bit of time, but need a bit more bedding in time to get into the team. Of course, Tyrone got himself 2 goals, and realistically, he's falling slowly down the pecking order in the end. And of course, his weaknesses, got to give him fair credit. He's did burst on the scene, but his weaknesses are apparent. And I think him as a starter, I think those chances are now dwindling for young Tyree Stone. But we'll see. Anyway, As for the assist man, no major changes there because there's there's been no further goals so far. Rothwell's got himself 2, Rankin Costello's got 2, and Elliott has got himself 2 as well. As for the discipline, no changes there, I do believe. Bradshaw's got 3 yellow cards, Lennon has got 2, and Sam G has got himself a couple of yellow cards as well. As for some stats and figures then for you, let's take a look at, of course, the hosts, which is us. See how Blackburn Rovers have been doing. Of course, no change really in the amount of goals or where the goals have coming from, but I'll tell you anyway. So 13 of our goals are coming through open play, 2 from counter attacks, 2 from penalties, and 1 set piece. Our attacking bits of avenue have come down the left hand side. 38% of all the attacking avenues coming down the left hand side, 36 down the right, and 26 down the middle. As for possession wise, the ball's kept a majority of the time in the middle third there, with 31% of all of our bits of possession coming in the attacking third, and just 26% in the defensive third. As for moving forward, as for our shots and things like that, just 5% of all of our shots within the 6-yard box, 57% within the 18-yard box, and 38 long range. Adam Armstrong, bad boys, and he's actually not had that many long range efforts these days. As for shot direction, let's take a close look at it then. Show 16% down the left, 13 down the right, and 7% long range bad boys, or straight down the middle, should I say, about them bad boys. As for the fixtures and what's been on the table, of course, not been a pretty picture for Rovers this past few games. Losing to Swansea, of course, just a Saturday 2-0 loss. Then we lost to Reading, of course, last time we were at Ewood Park. It was a 4-2 defeat. We did score goals, but unfortunately not doing much to get excited. We did smash Coventry. That was good. That gave us a bit of confidence, of course, that we're back to business. But then, of course, we did lose prior to that against Watford, and of course losing at home to Nottingham Forest. So not great for Rovers heading into this. Moving forward, what's on the so let's go back there. Sorry. Moving forward, what's on the agenda for Rovers? Of course, QPR will be our next opponents, of course, and that was also at Ewood Park. Big games these against Middlesbrough and QPR, and they are winnable despite Middlesbrough's position at the table. So yeah, QPR next. Then into the international break is taking on Luton. Then of course the crunch clash against Preston North End at Deepdale. I can already assure you that there will be no watch-alongs for the Luton, Preston, and Barnsley games. That will be away from the place. I will hopefully continue with the previews and reviews and reactions and all that stuff, but the watch-alongs will not take place. I can tell you that now. As for this weekend, this match here between Middlesbrough, there may be a watch-along, and again, I will let you know in due course, but I don't know. There's about a 65% chance that it will happen. And then we'll start them off in December against Millwall, of course. Okay, then, folks, let's start building 11 for this match against Middlesbrough. What we're going to do, who's going to start, all this kind of jazz. We're going to start with, of course, in the middle of the middle field. So we're going to have Tribal in there for the time being. Douglas potentially at left back. I don't know how fit he is, but we're going to hold that position just there. I do believe Ainsley Pearce will probably remain in between sticks. We'll go Harvey Elliott on the right-hand side. Ayala, is he available at centre-back? We'll have to wait and see. Rankin Costello has deputised at left-back for the past couple of games, well, the last game anyway. Chapman's been nowhere near the team. Ayala, we've got 2 of them. I don't know why, but we do. Del Boy's also been operating at centre back as well, so we'll slot them along. So Evans has been in the middle of the field there. Kaminsky usually number 1, but again out through injury or isolation or whatever. It's probably injury. Amari Bell I think is out. We could probably put him out there already. Darrell Lennon's been at fault. A lot of people putting the finger on that Darrell Lennon and they're suggesting that he should be dropped. Nyambe, of course, the right back should probably remain there. Armstrong scoring goals if he's fit and available. He will start. Rothwell could be on the cusp of returning. Brereton on the left hand side. Holtby as well in the middle here. Johnson potentially if he's there, and Tyree Stolen, the old big nugget here, not in the game of FIFA, so I don't think he will start. So we'll put him on the side here. So these 3 I'd definitely say are out. Moving forward, your left back, so one of these 3 I would suggest, but to be honest with you, I don't know if Ayala's anywhere near the team at the moment, so I would go with Williams back in there alongside Lenihan, despite sort of defensive queries and question marks about their partnership at the moment, and I do expect Nyambe to be. So if all honesty, I do expect at least this back 3 here with Ainsley Pearce between sticks. As for left back, will Barry Douglas be there? I don't know. I'm going to say no. I'm going to go with Rankin Costello to be at left back again. I think he did an okay job, to be honest with you. The question marks then push into midfield. Who's going to be the 3 in the middle of the park here? Tribal will probably start. Rothwell's a big old question. I think Johnson's still a little bit out of the way. So you're probably looking at these one of these 4 here. And if I'm a betting man, I'm going to be bold and go with this option here. I think Tribal will be in in your defensive midfielder. And then you go Holtby and Rothwell to add a bit more creativity, a bit more zing with Barry Evans, Corey Evans sitting on the field. And I do expect these three to remain up top if they're fit and raring to go. So let's just do clean up this team a little bit and get rid of these bad boys. So I do expect this to be in the starting lineup for Rovers, pairs between Stick, Rankin, Costello, Williams, Leatherhead and Nyambe, Rothwell, Tribal, Holtby as well in the middle third, and of course Brereton, Armstrong, Elliott up top. That's for me. That's what I think will happen. Again, it could be a completely different spectrum depending on who's fit and raring to go. I'm going with the belief that Rothwell was close not too long ago, and I think he should be raring to go. And again, with his energy and the way he plays football, it might get a bit more of a boost in midfield, because realistically playing with 2 or 3 defensive midfielders is not the way we're going to be driving forward. So we need his energy, we need his zing, and hopefully that's going to be the case on Tuesday, of course. As for what else do we have now? We've got the opposition, of course. The lead in the charge, of course, goal scoring. Well, actually got quite a few players on 2, but your main man in the minute is Akpom. Chuba Akpom scoring a couple of goals so far to his name. Savil's got 2, and Johnson's got 2 as well. As for assist, not Jimmy, but another Savil's got a couple of assists to his name. McNair's got 2 as well, and Brun has got himself an assist as well. As for yellows, well. We thought we got rid of him. We thought we got rid of him, didn't we? Sam Morsey, when Wigan got themselves relegated. But no. Oh, no. He's back. Oh, good like a bad stink. Sam Morsey is back. 4 yellows already. He's a.k.a. Mr. Shithouse. And he's going to be it's going to be causing all kinds of havoc for us in midfield. And there's no Chavez to kind of rally him up and trying to get him, just start getting him all angsty and hopefully, because he's there to be taken advantage of. And hopefully, if he does start to show his ugly head, which he's been known to do against us, maybe he will be their first red card. He's got 4 yellows so far. Bentaleni's got 2, and Savil's got 2 so far to boot. As for Middlesbrough's attacking bits of avenue, let's take a close look at them then, shall we? Of course, they're in the top 5 at the moment in the all playoffs spots at the moment. But as for their goals, they've actually only scored 6 through open play, 3 through set pieces. Again, Rovers suck dick. Suck ass. They're just terrible at set pieces. But as for Middlesbrough, they're doing all right, scoring 3 of their, just a third of their goals from set pieces. Let's take a closer look at where the shots have come through, or where they're attacking bits of avenue coming down the 33% down the left hand side, 43% down the right, 24% down the middle. As for the attacking avenues there, 35% of all the bits of possession coming in the attacking third, 42% in the middle, and in the defensive third, 22% of all the possession is right there. As for the shots, just 5% of all their shots within the 6-yard box, 50% in the 18-yard box, and 45% long-range bad boys. As for whereabouts they take place, 90% down the left, 19% down the right, and 62% down the middle. Oh yes. Back it up. Let's take a closer look at their recent fixture. In fact, this is what's on the horizon. After us, they're going to take on Brentford away. They're going to be taking on Norwich, of course, after the international break. Also, that'll be at the Riverside. Then they'll take a derby again at the Riverside on the 25th of November before ending the month, taking on Huddersfield away days for them. Then they'll kickstart the month of December against the tricky old Swansea City, of course. However, where they're getting to this stage, they've actually just beaten Nottingham Forest 1-0 at the Riverside. Prior to that, they beat Coventry City also at the Riverside. Before that, they were down at Wales and they drew with Cardiff 1-1. Prior to that, they took on Bristol City away days and they picked up a win there. And all the way back, when they took on Reading at the Riverside, and they also drew 0-0. Much better than us, of course. And as you can see, out of all that, not lost once in the past 5 games. Looking kudos right now. Here comes a difficult task of trying to build a squad for Middlesbrough. So Johnny Howson, of course, he's a man of many talents and can play a variety of spots. I'm going to stick him in the midfield for now. Alongside Saville, of course, he probably will start. Taverner, left side midfield, will go with him right there. Spence maybe at right back as well. Asombalonga will start, of course, West the captain's armbands, and he's probably going to start with Roberts up top. Fletcher is a man that could start as well, but probably if he's fit and available, I don't know, will be on the bench. I like this guy, Wing. He's got a good got a ping on his foot as Wing. So I don't know what his availability is, because he hasn't been starting either. Brown's also been in the discussion as well. Fry's probably been playing at centre back. Jick Steele's also been part of a 3-man back fire, as has McNeil. Sam Morsey will probably play. We'll stick him up there for the time being, and Bentonelli between the sticks. So I'm going to start with this, and then we're going to start just maybe pick it apart a little bit. Probably. What are we looking at? What are we looking at here? Who's likely to be swapped around? Let's have a little gander here at some of the options for Middlesbrough. Of course, that attacking midfield slot is They don't really have an attacking midfield. So in fact, they've been operating with a mixture of formations. I think the last time they were actually with a 4-3-3 with Coulson starting in their lineup. But they have operated with a 3 at the back, and that was against like Coventry. They did opt for that, and they also had Spence starting that one. So I'm going to just stick with what I've got right here. That's probably what I would go with. Howson's a good utility player. He can play it in the back. He can play the midfield. He's got a ping on him as well. He can bang in a few goals or two. Of course, Fletcher as well. He's a goal scoring machine when he gets going. So I think that's what I'll go with Middlesbrough. It could be like this. It might not be like this, but I think it's going to be very similar to this. Again, I think Swansea had a back 3, and they were very, very good against us. And hopefully, and what about Reading? Were they also had a back 3? I think that seems to be the sort of fashion at the moment with 3 centre-backs as well. Anyway, moving forward, let's take a closer look at the game between these two sides. Of course, they played 9 already this season. Rovers averaging about 2 goals per game. Middlesbrough just the 1. Again, Rovers averaging about 17 shots per game. 12 for Middlesbrough. Also, Middlesbrough averaging about 2 yellow cards to our 1. 5 corners apiece, usually on average, and usually around about 13 fouls with offsides around 3-2 in favour, or should I say, against Middlesbrough, of course. Area possession is actually usually bossed by Rovers. 51% of all their games, they seem to have 51% aerial success, and they also have a bit more possession than Middlesbrough, 57% on average possession, and also better success with our passing as well. But that's that. Let's take a closer look at the gaffers then, shall we? The managers. Of course, Tony Mowbray has managed both Middlesbrough and Blackburn Rovers. In fact, he's actually managed Middlesbrough 153 times. He's actually managed Rovers 181 times right now, and he has a better points per game, points per match ratio than his time at Middlesbrough. He had 1.44 games points per game for Middlesbrough, and now is 1.53. His record though against Middlesbrough is okay. He's actually managed against Middlesbrough 8 times, picking up 3 wins, 2 defeats, and 3 draws, averaging around about 1.5 points a game. His record though against matey boy, what's his chops, Neil Warnock, is actually he's actually managed against him 8 times, winning once, losing 3 times, and 4 draw 4s. 4 draws, draw 4s. So Mowbray, the underdog or the apprentice, still to Neil Warnock's Jedi. Whatever. Let's take a closer look then at these two teams. These two sides have actually played each other 135 times in the past. 59 wins for Rovers, 39 wins for Middlesbrough, and 37 draws. If you want to take a closer look at the last 6, we'll take a closer look at that in just a minute. But a quick look at the passes here on average, or total. Is this total? This can't be total. But on average, Rovers banging out 535 passes per game, 327 passes per game for Middlesbrough on this one. As for the last 6, here we go in all competitions and all venues. 2 wins for Rovers, 1 win for Middlesbrough, and 3 draws, of course. Rovers are actually just 1 loss at the past 6, if you want to look at it that way, of course. Last time I played there was at the Riverside, was a 1-1 draw. Hayden Coulson on the score sheet for Middlesbrough. Lewis Travis getting a rare goal for him then. Of course, last time I played at Ewood was a 1-0 win, including let's take a look at that last record. The record against these two sides at Ewood Park is not that great. Of course, last time was that 1-0 win with Graham scoring. But prior to that, it was a 1-0 win for Middlesbrough back in 2019 with Britt Longer on the score sheet. That was actually Middlesbrough one and only win in the past 7 years. Of course, you've got to go all the way back to 2012 when Middlesbrough actually made it another win, and that was Lucas Chikawowicz, of course, ex-Dingle there, a couple of goals for him as well. So, yes. What else do we have on the agenda here for us heading into this? Quick look at the bookies odds then, shall we? I'll tell you the odds on this one. They might have changed since my championship prediction video. 30-10 for Rovers for the victory, 2-1 is Middlesbrough, 12-5. That is the draw. But a little bit what I'm about to say. Now, what have the fans been saying on social media? Well, if you head over to the brscs.com forum, you can see a lot of vocal fans. What do we have? Let's take a look at Jim MK2. He covers a point here, which I'm very, very passionate about as well. Now then, next match brings Bonnie Butter to Ewood, managed by Neil Warnock, who predictably has instantly turned the club around from last season's relegation candidates to one now sitting in the top 6. Colin is not everyone's cup of tea, but he's only one of my favourite managers, mine too. A tough nut who takes no nonsense and produces pragmatic, tough teams that are hard to beat and get results. His record of promotions is second to very, very few. I stand to be corrected, but I think Colin was actually penciled in for the Rovers job when the club changed its mind at the 11th hour and unbelievably gave the job to Owen Coyle. Holy smokes, I still can't get over that. He was also out of work for a brief period before Borough grabbed him to sort out their own mess. So that's 2 chances we've had to appoint him, and I've no doubt we'll be back in the Premier League now had we done so in the first time. Anyway, in the dugout, dugout is Tony versus Colin on Tuesday night, and the contrast between the two approaches of the two managers could not be more different. One is an undecisive but apparent nice guy, and the other who fashions a team in his own hard image. What the Rovers team will be is anyone's guess, and I doubt Tony will decide until an hour before kickoff, but I doubt it will make a much difference. On current form, I can't see anything other than another defeat, and he's gone with a 1-0 win for Butter. Mercer said this Tuesday team will be interesting. Sharp pointing out Piers likely to be in goal again against his old club. Remember that. I think he'll be shaking his shoes as he knows Warnock will have plans to rough him up. Doubt Ayala will play, another ex-Middlesbrough man there. He knows what Warnock's teams are like, and in my opinion won't fancy it. As for Armstrong, we'll be staggered if we see him before the end of the international break. To me, looked as though he should have played again. Played yesterday with what looks like a hamstring issue. Meanwhile, Matt E3 said this: I'm slightly bitter towards Middlesbrough that after Woodgate they didn't bring their local boy Tony back home. How dare they appoint a decent manager instead? It generally was the only chance we had for a change in direction. Steve Gibson isn't that daft, probably remembers his last stint. By the end of Tuesday, I'm sure it'll be 5 defeats from 6. The manager under no pressure, big run of defeats, nothing new. The post-match interview littered with excuses and blame elsewhere than the token playoff remark. It's almost as if everything he says is for the benefit of those Poon Towers. Meanwhile, I think we'll tighten it up. This one, it'll be a real grind of a game, but ultimately we'll be caught out yet again. 1-0 win, that's Tom Phil. Meanwhile, Ewood said, easy Rovers win this over the clueless Warnock. The bloke clearly doesn't have a clue what he's doing, but going into a club and taking them from relegation candidates to playoff contenders, there's a bit of sarcasm in this, to get it in a matter of months. Doesn't know what you need to slow build or go to on a journey to get out of the division. Darren Rover said this: Warnock on the bench, Morsey snarling in infield, and a rejuvenated Summer Longer up front. I'm afraid there's only one outcome here. Charlie Rose said this: didn't Morsey go off yesterday injured? I bloody hope so. Rovers 11 said, I fear another loss in this one. I suspect Armstrong won't feature and none of the absentees will be back. So we're going to be weaker than we have been for the past 2 games, and we've been dreadful. We will have the most of possession, play some pretty decent football, create some decent chances, but they'll probably score from a set piece or a counter-attack, and we'll end up losing. Sadly, all too predictable at the moment. Desperately need the international break. I do still very much believe we can push for the top 6 when we have the majority of our players available again. The worry is how much ground we'll have to make up by the time we get our players back. A frustrating season so far. Just when we assemble a good squad, half of them aren't available. And old Greg's 86 says it really doesn't matter who is available. None of our lot can handle a summer longer. If Armstrong isn't playing, we won't even score. Any more? I think that'll do. Anyway, if you want to check it all out, make sure you head over to the vrfcs.com forum. Meanwhile, if you want a quick look at the players that have played for both Blackburn Rovers and Middlesbrough, here is a list. Pick out some of the gems for yourself. Of course, Kuba was pretty good. Small was good for us. Ripley decent, of course, way back when. Jason Latweiler featured for both. Kilgallen as well. Remember him. Craig Hidden was pretty decent. Danny Graham, of course, good for us. Shay Given never really featured for us. Rudy Gestell, of course, a legend in our Stuart Downing, very good last season as well. Harry Chapman's on the board, of course. Ainsley Pearce, is he in there? I don't think he's in there. Roberto Ayala, I don't think he's even in there as well. So they need to update the roster, of course. Anyway, that's just a little bit of back history there. What else I've got to show you is you know what I think? You heard a little bit what the fans have been saying. What about DigiCash? What does she think will happen? Well, Digi, it's over to you. Give us a victory, please. Give us a victory. What's else going to go on this midweek? Of course, lots of games, of course, thick and fast, left, right, and centre. We just can't keep up the heat. Huddersfield will take on Bristol City, of course. Sheffield Wednesday need a result up against Bournemouth. High Flyers, of course. Norwich City against Millwall. That'll be a crunch one as well. Brentford against Swansea. We know Swansea all too well. Cardiff against Barnsley. Rejuvenated Barnsley. They're on the climb. Reading against Preston, who do not win at home, but they're good away. Watford against Stoke, of course, big points on the scores there for Watford and Stoke. Rotherham against Luton, mid-table crunch clash there. Birmingham against Wickham. Wickham need a result again to keep on moving. Forest, of course, losing last round against Middlesbrough, taking on Coventry. And Derby taking on QPR. As for Rovers, it's the game of the week, of course. It's on Tuesday night. It's on the red button, I believe. It doesn't really matter to me because I'm not on the red button. Or am I? Anyway, let's take a look at the table as it stands. Of course, Rennes lead the charge at the moment with 4 points clear of Swansea. And that could all be changing, though, if Swansea victorious and Rennes earning slip up, which I think I've penciled it in. Bournemouth in third, Norwich up to fourth already, and a win for them. They could also go second. Middlesbrough in fifth, and a win for them. They could also go second. And Watford are in sixth, and a win for them. They could also go second. Wow, wow, wee, wow. That's the middle of the top end of the table is very, very tight. As for Rovers, though, we're all the way down to 14th, but a win for them could just get us up to at least 11th, and then maybe we can start to believe again. Because right now I don't believe. I'm very, very heartbroken at the moment with the state of this team. Also at the moment, Sheffield Wednesday going down with a -4, Wycombe 23rd spot, and of course Derby down the relegation spot as well. But yeah, they're starting to get points down the bottom there. Forest and Derby slowly getting points in the locker. But yeah, still to boot. As for the top goal scorer, Adam Armstrong still leads the charge at the moment. Ivan Toney though, 11 on points, 11 on goals. He's right on the heels. Lucas Chow as well, ex-Rover, up in amongst it as well. Meanwhile, take a look at the assist man. Brian Mbembo is the top man with 5 assists. Chris Mark's got himself 4. Jake Bidwell's in there in the list with 4 as well. Any other players of note for us? Not really. As for the yellow cards, where is he? Where is he? Where is he? Sam Morsey's down there with 3, but according to my records, he's got 4. Diego Rico's got 4 as well. As for Bradley Johnson, he's got 3 as well. Any other familiar names? I don't think so. I think that's pretty much it, lads. I think that's pretty much it. That's it, my friends. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, smash that thumbs up. If you're new, bang your subscribe button. Of course, keep me bang up to date with all things Blackburn Rovers related, Championship related, football related. We're going to do under Warruski, of course. Yes, we're going to hope to have a watch along on this one, and I'll let you know Tuesday on the Twitter. So if you don't follow me on Twitter, make sure you bang me on bang me on the Twitter, and then also bang me on your Facebook as well. And while you're at it, bang me on your Twitch as well. And then you keep your bang up to date with all things I talk about, Rovers talk about, whatever I talk about. And of course, if you want to support the channel in another way, you can always go to Patreon and become the 24th patron. We are trying to get up to 25, preferably soon, because there are hidden agendas in the works here. If we can get up to 25, that will do absolutely smashing. So make sure you check that out. For as little as a chocolate biscuit. A chocolate biscuit, though, eh? Yeah. Oh. Anyway, Tony Mowbray Derby 2.0. We did win the last one against Coventry, and we won quite convincingly. Can we make it 2 Tony Mowbray Derbys and the spin by taking out Middlesbrough, who are flying high in 5th spot at the moment? Or will it be yet another shitty day? It's the start of November, boys. Hopefully, we're going to start November with a big fat W. Turn the M round from the Mo to the W. Win. That's what it spells. Let's do it. Anyway, until then, be sure to give the video some love and smash the thumbs up, smash subscribe. I'm tired. Hopefully, Rovers aren't, and hopefully we'll bounce back soon. Until then, I'll see you all on the other side.